Hello there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a UFO Legends video about a man who was very instrumental in the bringing to light of a lot of UFO knowledge, and he didn't start out as a believer. He started out as a skeptic, and I'm talking about Dr. J. Allen Hynek. He was Dr. Hynek was born in Chicago. He died April 27th, 1986, of a brain tumor. Dr. Hynek received a Bachelor's of Science from University of Chicago in 1931. In 1935, he received his PhD in astrophysics at the Yerkes Observatory. So he's a very well educated individual. He was contacted by the United States Air Force to act as a scientific consultant to Project Sign, investigating UFO reports. Later on, he was also attached to Grudge and Blue Book, Project Blue Book. Like I said, he was initially a skeptic. Over time, and in hearing these reports, he read these reports and interviewed people who were lucid. They were intelligent. A lot of them were trained observers, military pilots, police officers, that kind of thing. Because of the sheer number of these reports and the similarities between them, he changed. In 1948, he said that the whole subject seems utterly ridiculous. That was a quote from him. In 1953, he was part of the Robertson panel, which concluded that UFOs are not anomalous. The panel suggested a public relations campaign should be used to debunk the subject and reduce public interest in these UFOs. So earlier, that he was a skeptic, and that's what he said and what he did. Now, over time, he became convinced that the UFO subject was not as ridiculous as he'd originally thought. The Air Force had determined to make UFOs non-existent, regardless of the facts. So the Air Force was they were trying to explain everything away with sometimes bullshit excuses, and he noticed this. If there was nothing to it, why are they lying about it? The number and caliber of witnesses, meaning military and or pilots, law enforcement, that kind of thing, of impeccable character and a high degree of training made the reports very believable. And as a result, his opinion changed. He became, believer might be too strong of a word, but he accepted the possibility. Because as a scientist, you have to weigh the evidence. He found the Air Force wasn't weighing the evidence. They were taking the report and saying, okay, how can we explain this away? How can we explain this away? As opposed to, okay, let's look at this and investigate. Hynek founded the Center for UFO Studies in 1973. In 1978, he gave a speech before the United Nations, and he was trying, and he and Jacques Vallée did this, and they were trying to initiate a United Nations authority on UFOs. He created what's called the UFO encounter scale. Close encounters of the first kind, the second kind, close encounters of the third kind, and the fourth kind. He created that scale. He was actually a consultant for the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And the characters Jacques Vallée and J. Allen Hynek were both portrayed in that movie. I don't know if their names were actually used, but the characters were there. So yeah, J. Allen Hynek is responsible for a lot of the attention brought to the UFO phenomena. And again, he didn't start out as a believer. He started out as a skeptic, but the reports convinced him. The Air Force's penchant for trying to explain away rather than investigate convinced him that if there's something to this. So I credit Dr. J. Allen Hynek with a lot, and in my opinion, he really is a UFO legend. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.